someone, or are you personally battling a drug and alcohol addiction? Why are so many people addicted today? And why have so many people died as a direct result of this disease? If you've been affected by this problem and want answers like we do, then join us in our efforts to face this disease. Our purpose is to examine the truths, expose the lies, and uncover and provide resources to this affliction. Come, join us in this journey.
I was 26 years old. I was sitting in my truck in the parking lot of a movie theater getting high.
I was an outcast my whole life, I didn't know where I belonged.
Knocking my head against the wall over and over and over again.
So I came to Narcotics Anonymous. I heard a message that made my ears pop.
People who I can relate to and identify with. Managed to heal relationships, start families, and be happy with life.
Drug problem? We can help. We've been there. Narcotics Anonymous.
Are you addicted to drugs? Narcotics Anonymous can help. If you are interested in Narcotics Anonymous and cannot make it to a physical meeting, or are wanting to experience the Fellowship of Recovering Addicts online, visit virtual-na.org to learn more about online meetings and meetings over the phone.
Charlene DeChico here with Addiction and Recovery TV. We're looking forward to another great season here at Addiction and Recovery TV. Thank you for tuning in and supporting us in our efforts. This season on Addiction and Recovery TV, we'd like to highlight some spiritual aspects of dealing with mental health. Hopefully this season we will provide inspiration and hope for any and all those that are watching our broadcast. Hi, welcome back to Addiction and Recovery TV. I'm your host, Charlene DeChico, and I'm sitting here with Kimmy. Kimberly has an amazing role in the world of mental health. And as you know, at Addiction and Recovery TV, we are looking for information and resources to provide to our audience in the service of mental health and even understanding mental health a little bit more. So hopefully today with Kimberly, we'll get some insight. So welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. So we know that you are working in the field of mental health, and we know that there is a lot of progress that we've made and still a lot to come. But first, tell us a little bit about your role and what do you do and how do you help?
I work in an inpatient hospital, and I am a rehabilitation counselor. So what I do is help the patients reintegrate into society and help them find their purpose and their coping skills. You know, we grow up, and when we're developing our social skills and our coping skills, it's kind of pretty much not our choice sometimes, because it's whatever environment we're born into that's kind of
Sure.
how we learn how to cope. So a lot of times I kind of have to be the voice that helps people change their perspective a little bit. It's kind of like cognitive
Sure.
behavioral therapy, but not that deep. So I present information in a group. I do group counseling. I do one-on-one
Individual.
because the groups aren't for everyone.
So they're in a treatment facility for mental health, maybe voluntarily or maybe court mandated, or
Both.
Both. Okay.
Most of the time court mandated, though.
But hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel, and they're going to be able to have an exit plan, and so that's where you
Absolutely.
come into play.
Each person experiences their symptoms in a unique way, so there's no cookie cutter way to treat them. So I kind of have to
Get to know them,
get
too.
to know them and build a rapport, and then go from there.
Okay, so let's paint a picture here a little bit. So if we have an individual, and you may be watching, that you yourself or you know someone that struggles in the area of mental health, they are in this facility and they're getting treatment, and they're going to soon to be leaving to go integrate back into everyday life, right? This seems to be a revolving door. Most people, they may not get better, or they may not find their light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. So tell me how it would work if a patient were to be in the facility that you work, come to see you, and what would a successful story look like for that person? What would they need to do, and what information would you give them that would help them to know what to do?
So what they would need to do is find their occupational wellness, so that not just a job, we think of occupation as a job, but like what gets you through the day every day? Like what is your purpose?
Okay.
What motivates you? What wakes you up in the morning? And for people, it's all different things.
So if you're watching, think about this in terms of this is information that you can apply right now to your life. This is for everyone.
moment,
Right.
yeah.
So if you, this is powerful. So, okay, what do you do in your daily walk that gives you a sense of purpose, right? Okay. And then,
So I have one patient who he loves animals and he was a vet tech, and he's not able to be with his dog right now. He has a rescue pit bull, and he talks about him often, and that's his part of his purpose to get better and so he can take care of his dog who's
Sure.
with his mother now. And a lot of times it's people's children or their career or they just want to feel like
We're a
they're
part of-
contributing to society in some way. And we, sometimes you when you're depressed and you feel defective, it doesn't feel like you're
Sure.
contributing. Especially for depression and anxiety,
Okay.
exercise is a wonderful way to cope, along
Sure.
with medication and counseling and health.
so you have a background in exercise too. So
Yes.
you're kind of a fitness.
I'm a group fitness instructor through AFA.
So we talked a lot about that in last season of Addiction and Recovery TV, how fundamental exercise, yoga, and different practices. And it doesn't seem like that long ago that we didn't even know what to do with a patient suffering from mental illness, right? So how do you take on that of this world of the unknown almost?
I'm a big champion for mental health, and people, they fear what they don't understand.
Okay.
And so I do like to have this opportunity to tell people, like, you shouldn't be afraid of, we are one, tomorrow we could have like a chemical imbalance and,
Sure.
and start hallucinating. Like it's
We all struggle,
any
right?
one of us. Right. So, there are people who have mental illness are just like you and me. They just, something traumatic may have happened or there was abuse or a loss,
Right.
grief.
A sudden
Mhm.
event,
Yeah.
right?
Even like losing a job or, anything.
COVID-19, right?
Yes,
COVID-19 has been put a big damper on the state of individuals' mental health, right?
And, honestly, the media, they depict people with mental illness like, they're murderers or they're going to hurt people, and that's
Or
not...
be afraid.
Yeah, and
be
that's
afraid.
not the case. They want to be a part of society, but it's hard for them when they feel like society shuns them and
Sure.
doesn't understand. Because there's no cookie cutter.
Right.
Medication is important, but that's a small part. There's like a whole person wellness. And it is spiritual, it's social, it's physical, it's all those things. And it sounds overwhelming, but if you have a professional
Sure.
helping you, you can, take little steps that turn into big things later. So.
Amazing. Yeah, and it sounds like that's why your role is so key and important, because someone there to be that guiding light, to help. That same role that you have in a facility, you're having here today. And so Kimberly's talking to you about, you may be this person. And we all could use this advice. I mean, this is sound advice for someone like me to be reminded on a daily basis is, what is my role today? What am I doing? How am I feeling connected? And then counseling. Who am I talking to? Am I taking that self-care? That, am I making sure that I'm speaking to the right people? And
Recovery is important, the 12 steps, having a higher power, but also like there's a lot of Eastern and different ancient beliefs that I really subscribe to, and one of them is the Four Agreements. Don Miguel Ruiz. The Four Agreements are don't be impeccable with your word, don't make assumptions, don't take things personal, and always try your best.
right.
So behavior is not personal. Behavior is the person wants something, and the only way they know how to get it is the behavior.
Right.
Either it's attention, it's love, it's food, it's survival, whatever the behavior is, there is a payoff. And so for me, the 4 agreements, and I do use this in my counseling, is it kind of helps you see that, like, you don't have to react to someone else's behavior. Their behavior most of the time has nothing to do with
Right.
you and everything to do with them. And you really have no control over anybody else's behavior except for yourself. So if you're really trying your best,
Right.
it's hard not to take, especially people you care about, their behavior personal, but when you can learn not to do that and just
Right.
take responsibility for your own behavior and your own thoughts, it's freeing. It's
Right.
freeing.
Well, Kimberly, what would you say for last words of encouragement to someone that may be watching or has someone in their family that's struggling, and they want to try to get them some help, and they're afraid? They're afraid. Well, if I tell on this person, or if I, try to get them involved into the system, they might get locked up, and or they're going to get so medicated, we're never going to know who they are. I mean, there's all these stigmas, but how can we really help an individual out there?
It's really customer service. Like, how can I help you? It's so simple. People don't want you to fix them. They just want help. And sometimes you think, oh, okay, well, if I give somebody money, they're just gonna go get high with it, or they're just gonna drink. I feel like your time is like the best thing you
Time.
can give someone.
This currency, yeah.
Yeah, and people, like, you might see somebody that is talking to themselves. That's like the biggest stigma.
Sure.
People think, oh my God, that person's dangerous. No,
Right.
they're going through something. They need help, and they're having a legitimate psychiatric symptom, and they're not necessarily gonna hurt you. They might hurt themselves. They definitely would hurt themselves before they hurt anybody else.
Sure.
And sometimes those voices, like in the movies, the voices are scary. Those voices that people hear, they're not always scary. Sometimes they're the voice of their loved one that they lost, or someone that's helping them cope or helping them calm. It's like self-soothing. So, like, don't think of like TV and movies and the voices aren't scary. They're not telling them to hurt somebody or steal or anything like that. Like, it's just somebody experiencing a symptom, just like depression, like lack of motivation.
Right.
So people, they need help, and if you're too afraid to help, or you don't think you can help, send them to a crisis center.
Okay.
You can call the police, but the police sometimes it depends.
Sure.
And you might scare them, and they might not trust you after that. Or you can ask them, like, is there somebody I can call for you? Or even just smile and say, hey,
Right.
how are you today? Like, and it might come out or whatever, and like, no, I'm having a bad day.
Right. They might be able to get
You know.
vulnerable. You guys have gotten a lot of information today, which we can all apply, from just waking up and setting the course of your day with direction and what is my purpose, to having supportive people around you, whether it be a counselor or a mentor, and also to taking care of yourself, where Kimberly talked about fitness and well-being and her mindset and how important that is. But if you are someone out there and you still feel lost, Kimberly talked about that, there is help, there are services, and if you're in a day-to-day passing of people, like Kimberly talked about, that in your community, smile. Just showing some love and support and not being afraid of that person could go a long way.
Buy them a cup of coffee.
Wow.
Yeah.
The small things, like how appropriate.
Uh-huh.
So if you need help, remember, always call us. We're here. We will connect you to the right individuals. And we just want to thank you, Kimberly, for sharing with us, and keep
Thank
up
you
what you're
for
doing
having
in the
me.
role of mental health. We need your help.
Thank you.
Hi guys, Charlene DeChico here at Addiction and Recovery TV. I want to share with you today something that I'm really excited about. So my son Harrison is competing in a national show, and his video is really inspirational and encouraging. So I thought it a good idea to share it with you guys. So as you watch this video, I hope that you're inspired, and I hope that you'll send prayers up for Harrison and winning and obtaining his goals. Send lots of love and light in our direction, because Harrison is really, pushing towards the mark and going for his goals to be on American Ninja Warrior. And so Make sure that as you're watching this video, you think of your dreams and goals and what is important to you. And if there's something out there that you can reach for, that you're inspired to do it. And that's why I'm sharing this video with you today, so that you too can be encouraged and inspired. And also keep an eye out for Harrison, and, you know, make sure that you are rooting for him.
Hey guys, my name is Harrison Bach, and my nickname, they call me, is Tarzan. Why is that? It's because I'm built like Tarzan, and I'm always active. I work hard for this. Tarzan over here. It's a jungle out there, and Tarzan can handle it. And I'm crazy athletic. When it comes to ropes, I climb them like Tarzan. That's where I'm Tarzan. I want to see my discipline and all my hard work that I put into myself pay off on this obstacle course. So this is why I think American Ninja Warrior is for me. I've always been able to do stuff like this in my life, whether it's pull-ups, being the fastest kid in gym class, having the best balance. I grew up as a roofer on the roof, so if you don't know much about roofing, you're using muscles in your body that you've never used before. My mom is very important to me. Growing up, she raised 4 kids by herself, so she always inspired me to always go get it and work hard. Growing up, my mom always told me, look, Harrison, you have what it takes to get on that show and win it. And I'm ready to win this show for Mom. I'm ready for American Ninja Warrior. I grew up as a kid always wanting to be in the NFL. That was my dream. It's still my passion. It's still my dream. I feel like that everything that has led me to this moment, my hard work, my dedication, if I can be on American Ninja Warrior and beat this, I feel like I could do anything. If I could be the next American Ninja Warrior, I could be in the NFL. So, I just want to let you guys know that I'm willing to put the work in. I'm willing to train 7 days a week, 10 hours a day if that's what it takes. I'm willing to push my body to the limit. I know I can do this, and I know with the right training and the right dedication, the right mindset, that I can do this. I mean, there's not many sports that I can't do. And I feel like my athleticism in sports is gonna help me through this American Ninja Warrior obstacle course. I have the upper body strength. I definitely have the lower body strength for the speed and the agility stuff on the courses. And I'm ready to attack these obstacles. I want to be the best that I can be and show other people that they can reach their goals and dreams by putting in the hard work and staying focused and dedicated and knowing what you want. And mainly, I also want to say, I like to keep the body all natural, and I want to show America that you could be a true warrior without supplements and keeping it all natural and just training hard and dedication and having heart. Yeah, made it to the top of the Great Wall of China, baby. If I did the Great Wall of China, I definitely can do American Ninja Warrior. And the 10-foot wall, that's mine. American Ninja Warrior!
Have you ever felt like you're unsure of the future or think that your past is going to stick with you? Do you have feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, and maybe no one believes in you or you don't believe in yourself? Well, my name is Joe, and I'm here to tell you that if you check in with Addiction Recovery TV, we have plenty of stories of people like that, including myself. We ask that you tune in, contact us, and get to know stories of other people like yourself to give you some hope and some feedback and a new outlook on life and how to move forward, because it's possible.
At Addiction and Recovery TV, we talk about raising awareness, and we also talk about the problems and situations revolving around addiction and recovery. And it's always important to remember that if you struggle in an area and you're looking for help or resources, there are plenty available. And sometimes it just takes picking up the phone and making one simple phone call that can make all the difference. So remember, we're always available, and we're ready to help you in any way that we know possible, and definitely definitely lead you in the right direction, because along the pathway of darkness, there is a light of hope along those roads. So hopefully you will be open to see the light and walk in that direction. So if it's mental health, if it's addiction, even suicide, the help is always readily available. Just take that initiative to reach out and receive it.
Many people have been touched by addiction, either directly or indirectly. Join us as we educate and break the stigma associated with addiction. Together, we can start a revolution and bring the disease out of the darkness and into the light.
I was 26 years old. I was sitting in my truck in the parking lot of a movie theater getting high.
I was an outcast my whole life, like I didn't know where I belonged.
Knocking my head against the wall over and over and over again.
So I came to Narcotics Anonymous. I heard a message. I made my ears pop.
People who I can relate to and identify with. Managed to heal relationships, start families, and be happy with life.
Drug problem? We can help. We've been there. Narcotics Anonymous.
Are you addicted to drugs? Narcotics Anonymous can help. If you are interested in Narcotics Anonymous and cannot make it to a physical meeting, or are wanting to experience the Fellowship of Recovering Addicts online, visit virtual-na.org to learn more about online meetings and meetings over the phone.
When you've tried everything else.
There was a time as a mother that I felt as though my daughter wasn't going to survive this.
When I got here, I was on the brink of death. They helped carry me when I didn't believe in myself. And I can honestly say it's the happiest I've been in years.
Enlightened Solutions has given me my daughter back, and for that, I'm very grateful.
Enlightened Solutions. Recover successfully.
This is our body sound chair here at Enlightened Solutions, a really fantastic holistic tool that we're able to utilize to help people who are struggling with anxiety, post-acute withdrawal, including poor sleep, or even if just somebody's having a really rough day. It uses a combination of sound and vibration to help induce a relaxed and meditative state. The state that you end up getting kind of walked into through the use of the body sound chair is a theta state. And what that is it refers to that particular type of brainwave that we really want to be able to experience when we're relaxed, when we're calm, when we're meditative. It pairs a particular soundtrack on the iPod along with vibrations that are evenly distributed throughout the chair. For many of our clients, rather than having to take something to relieve that sensation of anxiety, the hope is that through the use of the body sound chair, they can condition their brain and their body to begin to relax more naturally.
Looking at this Danube River architecture and the water line is absolutely remarkable. But when I think about what the Jews endured here in World War II, it's absolutely startling. Let's take a closer look down at the shoes on the Danube River. Standing here, taking a moment of reflection, thinking about the horrors that the Jews endured here during World War II. In some bitter winter months, the story's been told of how many were lined along these riverbanks, many who were shot naked, falling into the hands of the cold river on a winter's day or maybe even evening here in Budapest. This is the story that's told here, lying right here along the riverside. Although it is a tragic story told along this river line, we've come to see a people who, in spite of this terrible events that happened here along the Danube River, we have seen overcome and persevere, not only in these parts of Budapest, but in other parts of Europe. If the soul could be broken, wouldn't it be here? And if the spirit could be destroyed, couldn't it be here? But that is not the case. There is a story of inspiration that comes from the depths of these rivers. Hi, I'm standing here in Budapest at the Cave Church here, and I'm with Jad, right?
That's correct.
A little bit of what I know so far about this church. Before it was a church, it was like a natural spring, a water spring, right?
Absolutely. That's part, we call that, is the outer cave.
Okay.
That was a cultic place till 1,000 years ago.
Okay. We're standing out here. This is a big cave around us.
Yeah,
this
at
is
the big
open,
cave,
right?
sure. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's open. This part is the more than 4 million years old, the middle of the Earth history.
Really, middle
Absolutely,
of the Earth.
yeah.
So we're
And
standing also across is the Danube River
Absolutely,
here. So
absolutely.
that's a very historical thing. And then at one point, we know that this was all closed up. They built a wall right in front after it was made a church. So it was made a church.
Absolutely.
Right?
So
Not too often that you get to
understand,
visit a
yes,
church inside of a cave. So if you're in Budapest, make sure you come check out the cave church here.
Here at Addiction and Recovery TV, we're here to tell you that there is hope and a new way of life from addiction. My name is Joe, and I just want to give a quick testimonial about my experience with drug addiction. I started out when I was much younger, got involved with narcotics at a young age. It certainly took me down quick, fast, and I had no control over it. I've been to many rehab facilities, detoxes, and eventually spending 2 years in prison, which was in fact the best thing that happened to me, because I learned that, until I was ready, I wasn't going to get the help I needed. I didn't ask for help, I didn't want the help, and until something happened for me, which I call was, a power greater than myself intervening, and of course the time in prison, I really needed to feel enough pain, and that's when my new past began. Because what happens is you get a new past, a past worth talking about. Everything in the old past it's there, you gotta leave it there. And like I said, the good news is that we can move forward like myself. And today I'm living a life, beyond my wildest dreams, and it's all because someone, helped me and believed in me, and I believed in myself. And I'm here to tell you that it's possible for you too, if you or someone you know is struggling with addiction or any kind of ailment. And the good news is there's hope.
Are you addicted to drugs? Narcotics Anonymous can help. If you are interested in Narcotics Anonymous and cannot make it to a physical meeting, or are wanting to experience the Fellowship of Recovering Addicts online, visit virtual-na.org to learn more about online meetings and meetings over the phone.